Hello everyone and welcome to week 7 of season 2 of EGFH in Overwatch. My name is Cavan Navik Dignan. I'm joined in this series by the VK. Today we are live with games from our Connecticut region. We're starting with games between the Lyman Memorial Bulldogs and the Bethel Wildcats. I want to thank our sponsors, the Yukon Gaming Club, the Yukon School of Engineering, and Mob Crush for making this season possible.
Now, to get into this game, the map selection will be just like you see it in an Overwatch League. Hybrid, then Assault, then Control, then Escort, and if we need it, a tiebreaker map on Control. And this week's map pool is Hollywood, Hanamura, Elise, Route 66, and Nepal. All the game's classics this week. What do you think about the map pool, Navik?
I'm excited for the map pool. I love seeing some Hollywood. Hollywood followed by Hanamura is definitely going to be interesting because they're such different maps. You know, Elios is fun, and I mean, with the Ash reveal trailer, right? Everybody's hyped to see some Route 66.
Hello? Anyone out there?
Indeed. But I think we're going to see some goats as the Hollywood is going to start. Although the attacking team looks like they are going for a Pharmacy. That's a nice combination, and we see a Symmetra on defense. That's a very curious pick, but what is even more curious here is the healer selection. Mercy and Brig combination. That's not the two healers you usually see. Do you think the healing will be enough for the defending team?
Incoming in 30 seconds.
Yeah, and like you said, the Pharmacy is definitely going to be an interesting one. And you know what? For the first time, I believe, in a while, we're not seeing goats on either of the teams, or even teams that look slightly like goats.
Thank God for that.
That's always good.
Now, the Hammond this week is going to be an off tank, a supportive tank, because we see a Reinhardt on the Bulldogs side. And interestingly enough, they're not holding the high ground. Here comes the Pharmacy.
And as this fight finally, or this match finally gets to the start, we see Titanium Wolf jumping in there, not being able to find anything with that slam down to the rest of the team. There is just going to run up into the high ground. The Wildcats now managing to take that, and they're just going to try and push in along with that Pharmacy, trying to get as much AoE damage out as they can, and make sure. Yeah, there you go. You see Kurofudo Mega Best go there, finding Kurofudo there, and the Pharmacy is just going to be able to find one after the other. Drogon's going to be trying to fight him off, and he manages to distract him just long enough for Crazy to find the pick. So they're going to have a bit more of a ground here as the Bulldogs manage to find a couple more picks. Axiomatic there falling as well. We see the knock-up coming around. Chat just staying on that high ground, building his ultimate already at 65% on that soldier. So that might be ready for the Visor that next fight. Managing to get an exit pick on. Oh, no, not managing to get exit pick there. I got a little bit confused there. Kurofudo switching over there to the soldier. So both teams running soldier and managing to find Dragon going to be extremely useful there.
And Crazy are already close to the high noon. Mega Best Girl might be struggling next fight, which is happening right now.
The high noon coming out from Crazy there, managing to find Master Chicken. We're going to see Dragon jumping onto him, the res coming out from Duck, and for the most part here, it looks like the Wildcats have the point. We do see a last-ditch attempt here with the bombs coming out from Titanium Wolf. The Bulldogs trying to hold it, trying to keep it just long enough for the rest of his team to get back in time, but he is going to fall, and the first check is going to go towards the Wildcats, and they're going to just try and hold this point out now. All they have to do is keep the pressure going for a couple more seconds.
Now, what's even worse for the Bulldogs right now is the fact that the Wildcats possess 4 ultimates and 2 are very close, 20% to 2 ultimates combined. This is not a good situation to have no ults ready for them.
Yeah, no, it's not a good situation. Oh, and like you were saying, we're going to see so many ults coming out from the Wildcats. After winning that fight, they've got all 6 of their ults against the Bulldogs' 0 ults. So When you think about that, all they have to do is spend one ult. We see the Earth Shatter coming out there. Both Earth Shatters coming out as we see Vosh Nixon falling there. We hear the Valkyrie being popped along on the side of the Wildcats, along with the Bulldogs popping the Brigida ult there, trying to save the armor. But unfortunately, Crazier does get pinned by Axiomatic there. So that's going to be an extremely important pick because they're not going to be able to build up that honeymoon any quicker, even though it's almost complete.
And both the Pharah and the Soldier ultimate are saved, which is very important for the next fight, because Kurofudo has his tactical visor. He's going to use it against the Pharah Mercy, and it's up to Jet to deny it.
Yeah, but as you say that, we see the Justice coming out, managing to find Vosh Nixon, so they're going to have absolutely no Reinhardt here, making it them have no shield tank. We hear the visor being popped, like you said, trying to hunt down that Far Mercy. Mega Best Girl, of course, did fall at the start of that fight, and that visor is going to be trying to find anybody else that he can. Managing to find Jet here, Kurofudo is going to be staying on that high ground, slowly getting Axiomatic shield down, little by little as the res does come out, bringing Jet back up. So both teams still have their soldiers. Titanium Wolf falling, and we hear the second visor now being popped by Jet. Managed to find Chase the Moon, so they're not going to have any mercy for this fight. Managing to find Brigida, so that's no supports during this fight. But he does get pinned, but quickly followed by Axiomatic, managing to clear up the rest of the team, just leaving Crazier here to try and get away.
And that's still 3 ultimates for the Wildcats.
Titanium Wolf there coming in around the point there, managing to put his bombs down. Maybe not exactly where he wanted them. Probably wanted to try and place them onto the point to try and disrupt them a little bit longer. But Axiomatic now being pushed out. He does get stunned by Drogon, not being able to be killed by Crazier there. We see the nano boost coming out, so he's going to be looking for a pick here as he manages to get knocked away. He manages to knock away, I believe that was Vosh Nixon. As Vosh Nixon, yeah, he does charge back in there. Not being able to find where Axiomatic is, we're going to see the pick coming out. And the high noon coming out from Crazier there, managing to find Master Chicken and Duck. So that's going to be no support in this next fight coming up for the Wildcats. But they might still be able to get the point if they can find Titanium Wolf in time.
And unsurprisingly, they do. Jet controlling the high ground did a very good job disposing of that McCree, because if Crazier stayed alive, he could have turned the tide there. Titanium Wolf created enough space for him. Now we see both tanks are pushing, trying to kill that soldier, and Kurofudo is not in a good position here.
Yeah, and with Duck popping that Valkyrie there, they're going to be able to just completely, well, Goats comp it to some extent, just focusing down target after target is Crazy. It comes around the corner there, managing to find Duck there, taking care of their Mercy. So now Axiomatic is trying to survive, but he does roll towards him, managing to get just the amount of damage that they need to. His Mega Best Girl there tries to get around, trying to find Crazy here, but he's going to fall down to the McCree as well. And it's just most of the team trying to find Crazier at the moment. Most of the Wildcats is trying to deal with this McCree, who's just flanking around and getting pick after pick.
Now we've got the absolute opposite of the situation we had at the start of the second point. The Bulldogs have 5 ultimates, one of which has already been popped. And against this, the Wildcats only have 3 which are built up right now.
Yeah, and it looks like this fight's about to break out there as Mega Besco pops out the missile barrage there, managed to find one Crazier, quickly coming around, managed to picking off the Farah there, and then turning around high noon and getting rid of the Mercy as the Hammer Down comes down there, managing to find Chase the Moon, so there's going to be both Mercies coming down. Kurofudo popping Visor, managing to find one pick, not being able to get the second as Dragon deals with him. Titanium Wolf trying to deal with both of the tanks on the side of the Wildcats, but they're not going to be able to, even though he does pop the whole hog here, he is going to get picked out there. A bit of a waste of an ult.
This whole fight was a waste of the ultimates, but it still works. It's still 130 for the Bulldogs to try and hold the payload, and they've got enough shots at this. They've got Washnickson's Earth Shatter. If he can land it correctly, it's going to be a fight win and a good positional retake for the Bulldogs.
Yeah, the F-Shatter coming down from Vosh Nixon there, unfortunately getting blocked by Axio, so he's not going to be able to find anybody there. The hook coming out, hitting Dragon. We do see Diva's bomb coming out here as Chase the Moon pops his Valkyrie, unfortunately getting picked off by that bomb. Very unfortunate timing as Dragon does get found as well, and it's going to be Titanium Wolf trying to jump onto the point, but he's just not going to have enough time. That was what,
wow.
1 minute, 15 seconds-ish? Left on the clock?
Yeah, something.
Oh no,
something like
okay,
that.
so just under a minute.
A little bit less than a minute, yeah. That was not a bad hold, but I feel like the Bulldogs could have gone into overtime if not stopped the payload completely before going into the third point. Now, what I see here is they've got enough mechanical skill, they've got enough shooting tanks, creating the space, everything they need, but they just keep fighting and fighting and fighting instead of at some point saying, guys, we lost it, let's back off, let's regroup. They keep fighting, they keep wasting the ultimates on a lost fight, and in my opinion, that's what just cost them the side of the map.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a possibility. Just the coordination, you know, there's a lot of factors that come into it that, you know, may or may not have worked in their favor. But a minute time isn't bad on defending either, right? Because it's not like, I mean, obviously when you're defending, you want to get it to 0, but when you're defending, you also don't want to let them have 5 minutes. So I'd say it was fairly close to a stalemate in a lot of cases. And I guess it comes down to now seeing how it is on the flip side, right? How the attackers defend and how the defenders attack, and how much time they can save comparatively.
And with a Torbjorn on the table from Megabeth Girl, it might be a little bit tough for the Bulldogs to attack. They've got an ace in the hole with Symmetra though. Probably a teleporter on the high ground and stage an attack from there. I'd say the Wildcats are not expecting this Symmetra. The turret already goes down, the fight is brewing up. Back to you, Navak.
Yeah, no, the fight brewing out there, like you were just saying with that Symmetra, if they manage to get onto the high ground and just all rush up on there and completely deny Torbjorn any form of high ground, so he can't really get an angle, that's going to be so key to trying to deny this as much as he can. And with them somewhat flanking, they're a little bit split at the moment. With Kurofudo, they're fighting Duck on the high ground. He's not going to be able to fight that Brigida fight, so we should see the Bulldogs here thinking about maybe backing up as Duck pushes aggressively. And because of that push, he actually does fall to Crazier. The charge coming out there, not being able to find anyone, but it does corner Titanium Wolf as Azigomatic manages to find that as well. So Zarya is going to be down. Both of the tanks, I believe, yes. Both of the tanks now need to respawn, regroup with the rest of the team on the Bulldogs side. I would say that was a good hold from the Wildcats.
Yes, and look at Titanium Wolf only having 37% of the Graviton Surge a minute and a half into the game. This is not exactly the position he wants to find himself in, and he needs to figure out a way to get some energy and a way to stack that Graviton Surge, because Hanzo already has the Dragon Strike, and he might use it.
Yeah, no, that's 100% a possibility. That Dragon Strike might come in, you know, a very advantageous situation. Like you were saying, they don't have the Graviton Strike or the Graviton Surge, so do they Dragon just to try and split them so they have some room to push in behind it?
It's a possibility. They might even Dragon just to bait some ultimates out of the Wildcats and try to make an ult advantage for themselves. Because 2 support ults, 2 strongest support ultimates in the game, might help them.
Yeah, and a lot just happened there, so let's quickly try and break down what happened there. Drogon charged into the point and immediately got stunned as he ulted, and then we saw Voshnikson transcendencing in to try and heal him, but Master Chicken obviously denying the healing. None of that worked. So 2 ults used there for absolutely no use, unfortunately. Both shut down really effectively by the Wildcats.
And we see a 3rd support coming in from the Bulldogs. They're picking a Lucio, and I'm curious to see if this will work.
Yeah, well, this might be the pick that they need, but just as I say that, Dragon manages to get that deep one out. It finds Drogon, so their Lucian's going to be down, so there's going to be no speed boost for them to try and get around. But they're not paying attention as they all flank around. We see Dragon jumping after Crazier, but Crazier is going to manage to just flank up there with no boosters to follow up behind him. He's going to be able to avoid it a lot, but the Wildcats just picking them off one by one, and that completely shut down the attack there. The Dragon's being used. They have no ults other than the Valkyrie to try and follow up with 30 seconds on the clock.
And that's one of the worst timings to use the Dragon Strike, because Titanium Wolf finally gets the Graviton Surge, and this might be just what they need to finally push the point.
definitely is a possibility as we hear Jet now popping that nano visor with a molten core coming out from Megubesco there. They're not going to be able to jump onto that or do any damage with the Lucian jumping around because they're just going to get slowed and damaged by that molten core. Crazy are managing to find a pick on Jet, but it's too late unless we see Chase the Moon managing to get onto the point. But with the Tourbillon turret picking him off out the sky, that's going to be game one going towards the Wildcats.
Well, that wasn't the worst Hollywood I've seen, but that Zarya play,
of the game.
questionable at best. 3 minutes and 20 seconds to get a Graviton Surge is a lot. Especially if you have a Torbjorn on the enemy team. Just tell your guys not to shoot the turret, barrier yourself, and get some damage from that turret. It's relatively easy, actually.
Time to ride off into the sunset.
Still, the triple support combination is what was the closest, I guess, in getting the Bulldogs to the point. At least they were able to flank, able to make an open frag out of it, and then they lost a 5v6 fight. That's not what you want to see on attack. Now, the next map is going to be Assault, a Hanamura map. We might see some cheeky Mayplays here, I hope. Maybe some Torbjorn, maybe some Symmetra. Hanamura allows for a lot of different strategies.
Yeah, no, it definitely does. We see double sniper on Hanamura quite a lot as well. So we might see, we did see Crazier on the Hanzo there. We possibly could see a Widowmaker. For us as the casters, I don't believe we've seen the Wildcats play this season, so I'm not entirely sure what they can and cannot play.
Well, judging from the Hollywood, Jet has shown himself as both the Soldier 76 player and the Widowmaker player, and he was pretty good on both of them, so we might see a double sniper from the Wildcats as well.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a possibility. And with both teams now being ready, I believe, we should be getting into this next game any minute now.
I just hope we don't see any more goats. We've had enough of that.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
yeah.
hopefully when Ash
Seeing
gets,
like one round of goats is always fine, but like seeing it over and over again, it's just like, and goats just charges in.
yeah. World Cup finals much? So, let's talk a little bit about Ash. Have you already tried her? She's on the test servers now.
I've played her a little bit. I'm enjoying her. She's definitely, for me personally, she fits my playstyle quite well. So that's always an enjoyable thing.
I've heard some opinions that she's very overtuned and overpowered. Maybe even more than Torbjorn right now, and more than, say, Release Anna, Release McCree when he could pop tanks
Railgun McCree.
Hammer.
No, I'm thinking
Hammer.
back to I'm thinking back to Beta McCree where he didn't have damage drop off on his Peacemaker and could just snipe people more effectively than Widowmaker.
Yeah, that was fun times.
That was a good time. Yeah, I do definitely think that she's a little bit overtuned at the moment, but I feel like also it's the public test environment and those numbers do change. So like coming at her from a purely like what her skills do and how her weapon feels, I think she's a good addition to the game.
3, 2,
Okay, so the game is finally starting, and look at Symmetra we're having again. Probably a teleporter to the left window and stage an attack from there. Looks like Kurafuda has prepared us some cheeky Symmetra plays today. I just hope this works.
Yeah, and a Moira. We haven't seen a Moira. I don't believe we saw a Moira last game. I don't remember seeing any coalescence flying around. As they do try and start this initial push fairly slow. I'm not sure what they're waiting for. Maybe a pick from Crazier?
Perhaps a Widowmaker is bound to shoot someone, or at least get shot and make the team wait a little bit more.
Very slow, almost using a minute of their time just kind of waiting back and trying to find an entrance. We see Jet up on that high ground. He's going to be looking at the window, making sure nobody gets through. If Widow tries to jump onto it, he's just going to Helix rocket her, so that could also be an issue.
Now the trouble is, Crazier is unlikely to find any picks here, because the enemy team composition does not allow for picks. They can hide behind corners, hide somewhere, and not be sniped by Widowmaker.
Yeah, just like I said, as soon as somebody tried going onto that window, Jet's gonna just be able to find either with just straight up aim, like mechanical aim, or those Helix rockets. And we did see both Crazier and Kurofuto fall to him, so they might want to switch things up. Maybe Widowmaker isn't the best pick against the comp or the position that we see the Wildcats playing.
Or maybe Crazier is just waiting for an improviser and will try to play it from there, but 2 minutes already spent and 2 minutes left for them to get to the point. That's a long time for point A, and they'll certainly need that precious time to get to the point B, which is much harder to take.
Yeah, but again, like another minute's ticked down if they don't start reacting to things quickly and trying to make a push here. They're going to end up using all their time. We hear the Riptide coming out from Megu Besco there as they try and find a pick. And managing to find 3 people there, Crazy, Kurofuto, and Drogon all falling along with the teleporter, so there's going to be absolutely no flanks being used by that. We see Voshnixon trying to get away in time, but just the overall damage coming out from Megu and Dragon is going to get him to fall.
And we almost have a Nano Visor with Master Chicken and Jet. We have an Earth Shatter with Axiomatic. Compare that to 80% of Trogan's Shatter. Well, the Bulldogs are not in a very good situation right now, both ult-wise and position-wise and time-wise. They're losing the fight.
Yeah, I mean, like I've been saying, right? Every single time they try and go for a push, it takes them about a minute to even try and initiate it. They need to play more aggressively as an Earth Shadow comes down here, managing to find Voshnixon and Kurofuto. And again, Titanium Wolf trying to get them out in time, but he's going to have to avoid it as well. Mega Best Girl just sitting up behind, managing to find Voshnixon, and then we see Chase the Moonfall. It's the Wildcats, I mean, they've got their head in the game.
Certainly, and Trogan wasting a precious Earth Shatter that could have been an opening for them, possibly, is not very good, and they still have a Nano Visor. The Wildcats still have a Nano Visor combination against one Coalescence. I don't see how Bulldogs are taking this.
Yeah, we see the Diva Bomb coming out along with the Riptide. We're going to wait for the Diva Bomb to fall before the Riptide is going to be used, and we hear the Nano Visor coming out, so they're not going to be able to push it at all. As Chase them in Voshnixon's mech, and then follow up, Voshnixon dies. We see Kurofuto being taken down as well, and Titanium Wolf being finished off with that Riptide. But the Wildcats are just... they're just ruling the court.
Indeed, completely outplaying their opponents. The Bulldogs just waiting passively at the gates. Only one actual attempt at a fight when everything was already in so bad a state. They had 1 ultimate against 4. Well, it doesn't get worse than that. You can't wait that much. Now,
No, you can't.
let's just see if they can defend. Let's see if they can make it at least a draw. Hold point A for 4 minutes is no easy task. And
Yeah, but we did just see the Wildcats manage to do it.
well, yeah, that's you're certainly right. And we see a May Goats combination from the Wildcats.
So rushing in, trying to separate off that high ground in case they try and do what Jet just did with Soldier 76, denying that high ground off of them, or at least the angle. Possibly they might Maywall up onto the window and then all just rush in that way, going left and then flanking ground to the point.
Impossible, the wall is too low. Believe me, I'm a main.
if you go up onto the high ground, you can jump down to it. If you high ground wall and then jump, you can make it to the window.
Well, yeah, but getting up to the high ground unspotted might not be an easy task for them at all.
Yeah.
And seeing as Kurofudo is playing a Torbjorn...
Oh, you say that, but May managed to get up onto the window from the May wall just like that, managing to flank around and get Kurofudo. So you can in fact get onto that window from the May wall.
Looks like I've been doing something wrong in my life.
And very quickly with the Goats coming out, they find pick after pick, stopping Drogon there completely with that wall, and that's going to be the second map going towards the Wildcats.
Well, that was decisive. Just push through the front gates. Diva comes in, Zarya comes in, Rain comes in, and Bulldogs just fall apart. Now we see again that sweet Riptire. And the next map is going to be Ilias. Now this is gonna be the playground for the supports. I'm thinking we're going to see some Far Mercy combinations, some Widowmaker play, and the Lucios booping people away.
You've got to love a good Lucio player. Some of those boops, some of those environmental, just, always good to see, always fun to see, and always fun to cast.
Oh yeah. And with release of Ashe, who also has a booping ability, Ilias becomes a new kind of hell.
Or heaven, depending on which you play.
Oh yeah, yeah. I already see people picking 6 boop combination. You know, Ashe Doomfist, Brigitte, Lucio, Orisa, and the Roadhog. Everyone to get those environmental kills.
That's, yeah, I mean, that's something that occurs, and I'm very happy about it. I didn't know about that, but I'm very pleased.
Now arriving at
It's gonna be a nasty combination to play against. But looks like we're starting in Ilias Ruins, and just like I said, some Far Mercy, some Widowmaker is what I expect from here.
Yeah, I mean, Widowmaker is nice.
What exactly is happening is a Roadhog, possibly. Yeah, a Widowmaker duel looks like is coming up, and 3 DPS combination from the Bulldogs. That's interesting.
That's
very interesting.
Yeah, that's a comp that you don't see every day at all.
Okay, it's they're just teasing us at this point. Two supports playing 2 DPS. It's not going to happen.
Or maybe it does. Maybe they're just really confident.
Well, still, a Widowmaker duel is going to happen. No Far Mercy duel. Unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on how you look at things. And Roadhog versus Diva in the off-tank duel. Now, this is going to be something to look at. Spoiler, Roadhog loses.
So we're going to be seeing at the start of this being Crazier and Jet just taking pot shots at each other. Both Widows trying to find the other one before they're even going to think about trying to snipe the rest of the players, because they want to gain that control, they want to gain that oversight, and that oversight is going to go towards Jet. We're going to see Jet now repositioning ever so slightly, trying to look for a pick, but the Bulldogs are playing it very well, staying under the bridge to try and avoid the line of sight, but they are going to give out the point because of that. The Wildcats managing to get the first flip to the point. As we see Axiomatic there, going for a charge, unfortunately missing it. Dragon being up out of that mech in that little Gremlin Diva, trying to deal with Chase with the best of stability with that little pea shooter. He is going to find Kurofudo, maybe the charge coming out there, finding Kurofudo, and that's going to leave Vosh Nixon with nobody to protect him from that Reinhardt.
That was a nasty biotic grenade from Master Chicken. The 9 killing for both tanks is something you always have to consider. And that basically won them the fight. Chat killing Crazier again. Axiomatic already has the Shatter. And he's going to use it next fight.
And we see the charge coming out there. It's going to find Axiomatic as Drogon gets hit, as Drogon manages to find the pain. Kurfido getting the hurt, him managing to cancel it out so he can't get any more damage in. Chase the Moon is going to find Master Chicken, who's going to get rezzed by Duck. So they are going to be able to keep that Nano and Anti for this next fight, presuming they don't get picked off before it starts once again.
That'll help you focus.
And no follow-up on that pick. No follow-up, and Axiomatic already re-engages.
And we see the Riptire coming out, looking for Axiomatic, but he's going to be able to get it just idly in that swing with that Nano Boost. Titanium Wolf trying to find him, unfortunately missing his left shift. We see the whole hog coming out from Kurofuda there, Axiomatic shield eating most of it as Duck with that Battle Mercy tries just to dish out the damage, managing to allow Jet to find that body shot.
They've got the EMP, they've got the Shatter. I, again, don't see how Bulldogs are winning this. Some good combination from Sombra and Reinhardt coming up.
Yeah, and that's going to be the first point going towards the Wildcats.
Well, the initial idea was good. The initial idea of getting to the side of the point behind and below the bridge, where both Roadhog and the Reinhardt can fight on basically their turf, because both of them are really close range heroes, plus Brigitte, plus Junkrat. But something gone wrong. And I'm not just talking about Crazier losing the sniper duel to Jet. That wasn't that crucial, wasn't that key.
It wasn't the keyest thing there. I think the keyest thing may have been just the general positioning coming out from the Bulldogs, right? They stood under the bridge as the match started, and it just let the Wildcats capture that point, and they kept going towards that, and they just trapped themselves in a tunnel to take so much damage.
And Titanium Wolf already going down.
Yeah, we see Dragon, Axiomatic, Jet, and Axiomatic once again managing to find some kills there, as Jet got a few good hits in onto Kurofuda there. Jet once again finding Bosch Nixon. I mean, you should never doubt a Zenyatta, right? Like, Zenyatta's going to dish out so much damage. Titanium Wolf now being on that Widowmaker, Pharah. Very different characters, trying to deal with some of that splash damage, try and split up this team fight a little bit more. Just try and get a couple picks to try and give their team some leeway.
The Axiomatic is already 10% away from the Shatter, and the force support composition from the Wildcats just shows us how confident they are going to map 2 of Ilias.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like the Bulldogs are going to try and flip it over here, but of course they're going to be very quickly, the rest of the Wildcats are going to turn around and be like, you know what, no, we like this point, we like it ticking up, we're going to stay on this point, and my name's a Dragon, and I'm going to be behind your supports. Dragon and Axiomatic, they're managing to work together extremely well, as he got behind them. Axiomatic came in with the Earth Shadow, managing to find Titanium Wolf and Bosch Nixon in it. Kurofuda here on the Roadhog trying to just back away slowly, but he is of course going to fall to Dragon.
Already 50% of the points has ticked towards the Wildcats, and need I remind you, if Bulldogs lose this map, they lose the whole series. Of course, we're going to see map 4, but this is the last stand for them.
It could pop in the whole hog, but immediately it got cancelled out by Duck, even though he managed to get the hook. Straight after that, he's not going to be able to deal enough damage to deal with the Brigitte, as the point just keeps ticking up. We're up to 80% now, so about 20 seconds left. 20 seconds of chances for the Bulldogs to try and flip this around.
An Axiomatic with another Earth Shatter is going to deny their hopes, I'm afraid.
It's slowly just ticking forward here. They're not going to be able to get there in time by the looks of it, and that is going to be the game set and match going towards the Wildcats. But of course, as VK said, we are of course playing on the Overwatch League rule set, so we will be going towards the 4th map, which what should we expect?
66.
And what should we expect?
66. And I'm hoping for some good old pirate ship. At this point, the teams are are bound to, you know, just have some fun. Try and relax, try and maybe test out some strategies of their own.
Yeah, it is at this point. The Wildcats can, like, you know, the Wildcats can chill back a bit as well. Obviously, winning the set, they probably want to go for that 4th map. But again, they might try something a bit more unorthodox. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what we end up seeing played on Route 66, which I don't know about you, VK, but it's probably my favorite map in Overwatch.
Well, mine as well. It's a good map for May, so yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. You know, I've been thinking maybe we're going to see a Torbjorn plus Symmetra combination. The map is pretty tight and with a lot of high grounds, so there's enough room for both the Symmetra turrets and the Torbjorn turrets. And the Symmetra turrets apply slow that might be very useful for the Torbjorn turret that just lashes out damage.
Yeah. That's definitely a chance, but I believe we are going to see a sub coming in.
For the Wildcats, yes.
Yeah, so they're going to lose Dragon and they're going to bring in CG Gaming. And is his private profile private? Yes, it is. So we're not going to be able to see what kind of heroes he plays.
Well, judging by who he replaced, he's going to be playing an off tank. Perhaps Zarya to combine with Axiomatic's great Reinhardt plays. You know, just give him some more breathing room, some more confidence with those barriers.
66.
More breathing room is what you always want, just in general, right? You want to be able to, you want to be able to give your own team as much space as you can, and Zarya is definitely effective at doing that.
Okay, so looks like we're seeing a Far Mercy combination from the defending team, which is the Bulldogs. McCree to top it off, not a bad decision at all. Again, a Roadhog plus Reinhardt composition of the tanks, and Chase Demon undecided, but my chips go the way he picks Ana. Because the Mercy's pretty much all the time going to be flying with that Pharah, and someone needs to heal the team.
You know what? I will counter that point and say a Brigitte. Because of how... Oh, we're going to see Bosch Nixon switching over to Brigitte and then the Mercy. So I guess technically I was correct.
Yeah, and needless to say, I don't like that support composition. Brigitte does not have enough healing for Reinhardt and Roadhog. And they're certainly going to be taking a lot of damage there. Now we do see a pirate ship with Bastion and Torbjorn on the attacking side, so this is going to be fun.
Yeah, and with how the Wildcats have been playing, we did say they might try something a little bit unorthodox. As Drogon tries to charge onto the point that he is going to get immediately caught out by I believe Axiomatic. There we go. Axiomatic's whole as Titanium Wolf sits up in the back there, trying to get a couple bits of damage in there, but it's going to fall immediately. And we are going to see the turtle shell formation coming out from this comp.
Double shield tank at its finest.
Yeah, and the Brigitte is also being used as a triple shield along with Ana just to deny healing. So we're going to need to see Drogon here getting a charge that pins the Bastion over everybody else. But with him falling, and they're just not going to be able to break down these shields with their current team composition.
Unless they get an Ana, that is. Or unless they plan to make it a 6 ultimate fight, which is going to happen somewhere close to the 3rd point at the current pace.
Yeah, as I say that, the Titanium Wolf coming in with a very sneaky pick, along with Chase the Moon, managing to find CG Gaming, which is going to be extremely useful. Kurofuda there does fall down to Jet, and they're 2 meters away from the point, with nobody contesting that first point. It's going to go to them within like a minute. Drogon and
Zero has
Jet.
the high noon.
Yeah, Drogon and Jet here both charging at each other. The Hulk being hit by Drogon, which is going to let him get set up by Duck to finish the kill. And they need to be switching something up here on the side of the Bulldogs, right?
Indeed, they need some protection for everyone, because Drogon obviously can't provide enough protection for the Pharah if she wants to actually use her ultimate, which just happened, and just like I said, Snipes halfway into the ult.
Yeah, both Bulldogs getting picked off here. We do see Crazier though with the just sitting up behind them, and he does have high noon, so he played it a bit too loud now, and now being on 1 HP, it's going to be very risky. Yeah, he is going to get picked off by Axiomatic. And again, at the moment,
he wasn't surviving the high noon as well. The moment he pops it, he gets a shield that protects the entire team, and he gets a lot of bullets from Bastion.
Yes, but I believe the thought process might have been on the side of the Bulldogs that they were considering high nooning as a distraction to then follow it up. Or at least that would have been my plan of action.
And we see Bastion rolling around on those floating platforms. High noon going in nowhere, just like I said.
Yeah, and we see CG Gaming here coming out into the tank form. He's going to see Chase the Moon. He is going to find him. Drogon not putting up his shield as he's going to take a bunch of damage there. Does fall as well. I believe he was typing, unfortunately. Titanium Wolf coming in there with that Pharah, trying to escape, trying to get some room from CG Gaming, but it is going to get in the sight of Torbjorn, Orisa, and Bastion. And those are 3 heroes that you never want to crossfire. Or be caught in the crossfire even. And with 4 minutes 34 still on the clock, they are making incredible ground.
Well, Wildcats just rolling in, uninterrupted, all the way to the 3rd point.
Yeah, and here comes the supercharger. They're just going to be able to clear through this so quickly.
Well, it's just like an icing on the cake here. Not really that necessary, but just, you know, just for the sake of it. And the Bulldogs need to find themselves a diva player, because what they needed right here is a diva. Protect your DPS from anything that comes their way, from the sleep darts, from the biotic, from raw damage output that the turret and the Bastion both deal. And the DPS, with enough room created by Diva, could easily slice through the pirate ship, or at least make enough entry frags for Diva and Reinhardt to clean up the rest. I'm not sure why we didn't see any Diva play, but maybe you have some thoughts on this?
No, not particularly. Diva there would have worked out extremely well, just managing to soak up so much damage with the defense matrix.
Stick together. We will complete our mission.
So,
And look at this team composition from the Wildcats. I mean, Doomfist, Hanzo, and a Mercy. Okay, that's alright. Symmetra as the 3rd DPS, and Roadhog solo tanking.
it's definitely an interesting choice coming out from the Wildcats at the moment, as we do see the ping coming out from Drogon there. Mega Besco coming around with that Rocket Fist, managing to just get Drogon dealt with there, so they're not going to have a Reinhardt to shield this off, as the hook does comes out, and it does find Vosh Nixon. Titanium Wolf finding Jet here, so, you know, the battle of the Symmetras did actually end there. I actually didn't see that there was 2 Symmetras being played.
And Jet switches to Widowmaker, still maintaining 3 DPS composition. That's some very interesting strategy planning from the Wildcats, or maybe they're just having fun at this point.
Yeah, well, we did say that we might see something a bit unorthodox from them because they have won the set, so maybe they're more than willing to drop a map just so they can test things out. Crazy at being hit there by the slam and then followed up by the rocket punch, not being able to be finished because of Kurofudo's shield, but Jet does find the kill.
CG Gaming switching to Soldier, dropping whatever ultimate charge he had. Axiomatic still solo tanking as the Roadhog has his ultimate ready and probably going to pop it just to, throw some people off the cliff.
Yeah, he looks like he wants to try and flank up behind them. Chase the Moon does spot him, of course, and they should be aware that Roadhog should have his full hog right about now. Here we see the whole hog now being used, managing to push some people away. We see Drogon's shield coming up, and he might get pushed off the side here. Manages to put a little bit of ground there. We hear the High Noon coming out from Crazier along with Symmetra's shield. So that's going to split up a lot of the damage, give them a lot of that breathing room like we were talking about. But Megubesco is going to be chasing after Kurofudo, trying to deal with that charged up Zarya as the Rocket Fist comes out. The counter charge coming out from Drogon there, managing to knock them both down, but he's not going to be able to get picked until just as I say it. CGG Gaming there, managing to find Titanium Wolf, and Kurofudo, of course, like we said, managed to find Megubesco just on the exit pick.
Duck manages to revive Doomfist with the ultimate ready. Crazier is not using the High Noon at this lifetime.
Vosh Nixon getting hit there, trying to deal with that Brigida, trying to make sure she doesn't get just all of that healing coming out. Jet managing to find 1 pick, 2 picks, and still being behind Drogon here as the team just collapses around him. Vosh Nixon, now Jet's finally being dealt with by Kurofudo there, trying to find Vosh Nixon. CG Gaming managing to clear that up as they're just holding this really well. 1:20 left on the clock.
Nice flanking from Jet there. Positioning is key, especially in a team composition like this. CG Gaming has the Visor and Master Chicken has the Nano Boost, so it's a Nano Visor on the next fight. That's a no-brainer. They're using it and they're winning the last map.
Yeah, probably. Unless one of them manages to get picked within like the last 20 seconds of the clock. Speaking of the clock, 45 seconds left to just get it around the corner. It's definitely possible, but they need to be able to win a fight here, and that's going to be an absolutely huge Earth Shatter. But he doesn't find anybody as the whole hog comes out from Axiomatic in that tight little tunnel there. Manages to clear out so many people. Vosh Nixon fell, Drogon fell, Kurofudo fell, and 30 seconds left on the clock. Titanium Wolf on that May, splitting himself away, but he's just running away from the point as the payload just slowly moves towards them.
Meteor striking coming from Mega Best Girl. And there comes the Visor without the Nano Boost. Not sure what Master Chicken is saving it for, but...
Yeah, but Crazy and Chase the Moon are both going to be on the point, pushing it as much as they can. But CG Gaming and Duck here are going to collapse onto them along with Axiomatic. We see the Nano being used, and that's going to be Game 4 going towards the Wildcats. So 4-0 towards the Wildcats here. The Bulldogs maybe need to practice a little bit more. You know, there's a lot to improve for both teams, and with it only being,
for example, find a D.Va player.
I believe next week or after the week after next week is the last week before the playoffs, is what I'm trying to say.
Yes, you're absolutely correct.
So coming close to the end of the season now.
Epic. Running post-mission diagnostics.
And is there anything you want to say, VK, about that game?
No, not really. There's nothing to say here. Absolutely steamrolled by the Wildcats. The Bulldogs are defeated.
I'm gonna highlight some attempts there. Kurofudo managed to get some good picks there, unfortunately not being able to find his Graviton as quickly as his team probably liked. You know, a couple decisions could have been made differently, a couple different switches, I think, like you said, the D.Va. But if I was to give an MVP to a player, it's definitely going to be Axiomatic on that Roadhog. He managed to find pick after pick, flank after flank. And he did an extremely good job coordinating with his team, went to whole hog and things. So I would like, of course, to thank you all for tuning into week 7 of the season with the Wildcats taking the victory. You can follow us at Official EGF on Twitter and Twitch for updates and announcements. This season, of course, wouldn't be possible without the support from our sponsors, the Yukon Gaming Club, the Yukon School of Engineering, and Mob Crush. I have been Cavan Navik Dignan, and you can find me on Twitter at NavikCasts.
And this was the VK as your usual colorcaster, and you can find me at Twitter handle the VK, but the E is a 3. Thank you for joining us, and be sure to tune in at 7:30 Eastern Time for Alaska region matches.